Wednesday, April 16th. Welcome to the Damon Bruce Show here on Damon Bruce Plus, a little Warriors Weekly. Unfortunately, my friend, our Wednesday partner, Cyrus, can't make it today. Power issues in his neighborhood. I don't know if he lives like hanging off a side of a cliff or something, but he can't join us, and that's unfortunate because we got quite a bit of Warriors basketball to talk about and good Warriors basketball to talk about because, man, they survived it last night. They survived it. Huge game out of Jimmy Butler, our very first look at playoff Jimmy wearing a Golden State Warriors uniform, and it was a great look, and they needed everything he gave them. Every rebound, every free throw, every point. They needed it all. Steph Curry hit another in a career of signature three-pointers. He hits another. The guy has turned shooting. It's not even an athletic endeavor anymore. It's art. There is a level of artistry that, does get applied to very few basketball players. There really are some guys who just use their, beautiful movement. Normally, we're talking about the high flyers, the leapers, the Jordans, the Dr. J's when we talk about basketball artistry. Just the artistry of Steph getting off that shot, the gather step, the dribble, the step back, the way that he lets the guy fly past him. The defender does the blow by, and Curry just patiently pump faking, waiting. There's a hezzy dribble move. Curry's got a hezzy shot. He really does when he wants to go ahead and just tease you with it. And when it falls, it's just absolutely beautiful. That's the man right there. Absolutely, that is the man right there. And that man got clutched and grabbed and held and pulled all over the court last night. And, not to jump too far ahead into this very show, but when we start talking about how this team matches up against the Rockets, if the Houston Rockets are allowed to bully Steph Curry the same way that last night Pippen and a couple of other Memphis Grizzlies were allowed to just grab and pull and hook arms with Steph. I mean, this man who is the best in NBA history at running everywhere, relocating, it's a lot harder for him to get to where he wants to go if he has to climb through three bodies who are grabbing and untucking his jersey on the way there. I mean, it is amazing. I even put it out on Twitter last night. There's just, I think I put it up on YouTube this morning of Steph Curry getting mugged in broad daylight. There is an official staring at all of the action that I'm talking about right now. No whistle, no nothing. And look, I'm not calling for soft whistles. This is this level grabbing of Steph Curry happening like all the time. And then just no whistle. Steph Curry off the ball is more dangerous than him on the ball. Look at it this way. Steph Curry off the ball means there's a less likely chance he's going to turn it over in a big moment. And good Lord, if that's not Superman's kryptonite, I don't know what is. The way that the Warriors, they're, for a good basketball team, the Golden State Warriors' bad turnover and crucial possession ratio is absurd. It feels like if we have all decided sitting on our couches in our living rooms, this is probably a big possession right here. It feels like Pajemski or Curry's going to turn it over as much as they're going to get a shot off. But man, last night, whatever Memphis tried to get away with, and they did. They almost came roaring back from 20 down late in that game. Draymond, God bless him, that guy survived a second half worth of foul trouble to make it through that game and to continue to be Draymond and not lose, his edge playing in foul trouble. That deserves some, a note. Good job, Draymond. And what can I say? Moses Moody, that might be the best Mama Chewbacca dunk of his young career. That could be it's the most ferocious highlight of Moses's young career. That was an incredible dunk that he threw down. And Joe, this nut tapper, Dylan Brooks, got to look out for nut tappers, man. Got to look out for nut tappers. And you are right, Erwin. Ime Udoka is trying to brand grabbing and holding Curry as a legitimate defense. And if nut tapper, if You're asking how things could go wrong against Houston. It is Houston is allowed to bully the Warriors in a way that isn't even basketball. And that might be allowed. That might happen. I mean, if you're going to play this physical on every possession, you're not going to call it every possession. It's like one of those daring the officials. This is how the Legion of Boom basically played defense in Seattle in their glory days. They would commit a flag on every play. There's no way this entire referee crew is going to throw a flag on every play. So just play rough, play tough, and let it all come out in the dust. And I believe that that's the way Houston should play if they want to win. By the way, that is a viable strategy for the Houston Rockets, because even though they are the younger and better team, probably on both sides of the ball, when you start using NBA numbers and measuring, offensive efficiency, defensive efficiency, if you just want to use something good and old fashioned, like what was your record? What is your seed? The Rockets are supposed to win this series, but nobody in Vegas is believing that. The Warriors are favored to win this series. Seeds be damned. Regular season records be damned. And we'll talk more about that in just a second. But again, it's great to have you here. Awesome for you to stop by. Cheers. I think we got a little sip of the day action coming up here. Very exciting. Yep. That was good. That was perfect. Perfect temperature. Well executed. I'm very, very happy, and I hope you are too. As always, we break for supers. What do we got over here? Joe Sullivan just saying Curry, he gets mugged all the time. It is insane. Our friend Chuck Flanders. Chuck coming in, tucking a 5 in the G string. Thank you, Chuck. Celebrating the Dubs in the playoffs and a rare opportunity to watch a live stream. Go Warriors, go Plus, go Flanders. Thank you very, very much, Chuck. Chuck is a completely disgusted with every element of the franchise A's fan, but which A's fan do you know isn't? It ain't easy being Chuck Flanders as a sports fan. So I hope that the Warriors give him a playoff run. And again, the run is going to start against the Houston Rockets. But I want to talk about just our very first look at playoff Jimmy here. Before we do that, let me tell you, while you are thinking about what you're doing for lunch this afternoon, my man Ike is just waiting for you to make a great decision, waiting for you to go ahead and join that Love Rewards program, earn your way to free sandwiches and free drinks, and you'll be very, very happy when you do just that, because my man Ike has got something special for you. And our good friends at the Dubliner West Portal got the perfect Guinness ready to go. Where are you watching Warrior playoff games? Go to the Dubliner West Portal. It is perfect. Lots of like-minded people, lots of sports fans in there. The right mood of a sports bar. It's right. It's not just a sports bar. It's a great bar. It's a neighborhood bar. It's a people bar. It's the volume in here is right bar. And I can't tell you how much that matters to me as I turn into an old man shaking my fist at the clouds. I don't like volume being too loud in any bar I'm in. Dubliner nails the volume. That alone. They nail the Guinness pour. Get yourself to the Dubliner West Portal. So, look, one more thing, I guess, to let you know about that we should tell you about right here and now. Tonight at 9 p.m., let's say you're really interested in this show, you want to interact with it, you want to give it a call. Well, tonight at 9 o'clock, you can use a link that is in the very top of the description of this live stream to sign up for a ticket tonight and come and talk with me, and we can talk together. Doing a Warriors postseason preview show tonight at 9 o'clock West Coast time here on YouTube. It will be produced. We will have an actual person helping me out, taking your calls, getting them in order, bringing you in, bringing you out, meaning I'm not going to push the wrong button and hang up on everyone. It's going to be fantastic. I certainly hope it's brought to us by BetterHelp, who are sponsoring this. ShowUs.tv, a very new, cool way to put shows on. And I'm excited to be working with them on a little bit of a maiden voyage together. So we're doing that at 9 o'clock this evening. Again, you can get in line tonight just by signing up. There is a link in the description of this very video that you are watching right now. And I tell you what, I think I just cut and paste it. Let me just do it again to see if I can just put it right in the chat. Boom. Boom. No. That's not, can't do that. All right. Anyway, I want you to go ahead and sign up for that. And I hope you join me tonight. Little late night plusing. I hope you're into it. I'm kind of into it. Let's hang out together. want to talk about Jimmy Butler. How we got our first real look at Jimmy Butler last night as playoff Jimmy, and I am going to just throw on my headphones real quick so I can listen along to Draymond waxing poetic about finally seeing the guy that he's seen on TV show up and be his teammate. Look at Draymond Green talking about his first look up close at Jimmy Buckets in the postseason.
And playoff Jimmy mean to you, though?
Yeah, he's different. He's different. See a whole different intensity level and focus. And, I'm a basketball fan, so I've watched it on TV for years. To see it up close and personal, it's a real thing. Sometimes you get in the NBA and these guys come get these nicknames and you're like, man, stop it. There's some other nicknames out there, they're not real. That one's real. And I'm happy he's on our side.
Draymond Green. Yeah, the Warriors should be happy he's on their side because they're playing Friday night if he's not. Jimmy Butler led them last night. He finished with a game-high 38 in a 121-116 win. He set a new play-in tournament record for the most free throw attempts in a game with 18 of them. Jimmy standing at the free throw line all freaking night long. And that is playoff Jimmy. By the way, this is the difference between, not that Jimmy's won anything yet in his career, but the difference between James Harden and Joel Embiid, whose entire regular season numbers are inflated by their ability to get to the free throw line. Jimmy Butler is even better at getting to the free throw line in the postseason, but that is not part and parcel of how he goes about scoring. The guy that you're like, well, I don't know if he can really be that second scorer, can be that guy in the postseason. He lifts the lid off of his own governors and he makes everybody around him better. And you can watch it happen. You can watch it happen in another city. And because you're not a Miami Heat fan, you kind of dismiss it, or you say, okay, it's a great nickname. Playoff Jimmy Buckets. What else has the Heat got here? Probably, they need that, right? So they're going to make that up a little. They're going to over exaggerate it. Well, in what isn't even technically a playoff game, we saw the first playoff Jimmy last night, and he was special. And he led the Warriors in the postseason, kind of, to a win. Anytime there's someone other than Steph Curry leading the Warriors to a postseason win, it's a beautiful thing. It's a really, really beautiful thing. I'm still not totally convinced that they're going to go deep into this postseason, though. This thing just feels wide open. And in terms of the Warriors' playoff chances, as we look at how they've sort of culled their own roster with the benching of Kuminga, and we'll get there in just a second, as they are definitely so extremely playing small ball, any team with some size that gets to keep that size on the court and throws it out on them. The Warriors are going to have to shoot 60-something% against teams that are bigger than them because everybody's going to be out rebounding the Warriors from just a height standpoint, you would think here. Although it is a longer rebound, more guards picking up rebound league than ever before. Size matters. Size will matter in this postseason. The reason why you might like the Warriors' chances in round 2 against the Lakers, should the Lakers make it there, is because their size problem no longer plays in Los Angeles. The Lakers' size problem is now a Dallas Maverick. So I actually thought that the Warriors had a better chance to get past the Lakers post-Luka trade than they did pre-Luka trade, just, because it's all about matchups. Size is a tough matchup for the Warriors. And when they run into it, I eventually believe it will be what probably ends their postseason run. I also watched this team nearly hand it on back to Memphis. And Memphis, is an edge of a playoff team. They're going to face better competition. They're going to face better competition in this Houston team. And whether or not you can get what you got out of Steph and Jimmy over the course of a 7-game series is, did you win or lose that 7-game series? In any moment, the Warriors are built to beat anybody in this league, even tall teams, even teams with bigs that are out there. But 7-game series, man, that's a little bit tougher. So the Warriors are just going to need an ungodly amount of Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry, Draymond Green success to lead the way. But let's be totally honest, there was no scenario where that wasn't in play, right? That was going to happen no matter what. Now, before we move ahead and start kind of just looking at Houston a little, I want to talk about Jonathan Kuminga being disappeared by the Warriors in the two biggest games of the season. I'm not the biggest Jonathan Kuminga fan. I also am not the biggest Jonathan Kuminga hater or detractor out there either. I think it's incredibly disappointing that he remains nearly as raw as he was in year one now here at this point in his career. But even that raw or lack of basketball IQ that seems to be part and parcel of all Warriors' success, even though he is raw, he gives the Warriors something that really nobody else gives them, and that is a level of speed, athleticism, and talent at the size that he has. And I do think that Jonathan Kuminga, again, is he a bad matchup against the Clippers? Yeah. I saw the numbers too. I saw the point that was trying to be made by people who were defending that position, and how the, Kuminga, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, three guys on the court does not work out well together for the Warriors. I've seen all that evidence too. Okay, it's real. I don't want to hear about how he would have gotten gobbled up by Kawhi Leonard. Let him go out and play against him. If he's having a bad night, get him off the floor. By the way, can we do that now with Buddy Hield? If Buddy Hield isn't knocking down shots, get him off the floor. If Buddy Hield isn't a three, he ain't much of anything to help you out. Like, I would much rather see Kuminga be forced into games than a Buddy shooting poorly tonight, but he's still getting 22 minutes for some reason games. Beyond all that, Kuminga is 15 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. Now, injuries kept him to only 47 games this year, and proof that life is timing. The timing of the injury that cost him the most amount of games walked hand in hand with the acquisition of Jimmy Butler. So while Jimmy was getting his Warriors sea legs underneath him and the team was figuring him out and how this all fit together, Kuminga was out of commission. And I kept on saying, look, Kuminga needs to come back and figure this out with Jimmy, because this is a different team, or he's not going to have a place on this roster. And Cyrus would push back on me and say, no. Well, look at what happened. Look at what has happened. Steve Kerr, who is great at managing people, clearly does not give a rip when he believes this is a decision that's going to help us win in the postseason. Now, his decisions are not always right. What is amazing, though, is what Steve Kerr and the Warriors are doing to Jonathan Kuminga is the single worst thing you can do to an NBA player. Like, the Warriors are absolutely ruining Jonathan Kuminga over the decisions they've made in the last 2 games. Whether it be right or wrong to their winning equation, doing it quite like this, I think, is so dirty to Jonathan Kuminga. Again, he was 15 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. His injuries kept him to only 47 games this year, but this is a dude who has appeared in 258 games for the Warriors since being drafted. And now, in the 2 biggest moments, he's totally gone. Coach DNP. That is awful to do to a player. There is no way to rob an NBA player of all that he cares about faster than that. While the entire world is leaning in, while we've circled these games as priorities, you, who have been in the rotation all year long, are now 100% out, all the way out, forgotten, unusable. What that does to Kuminga, whose headspace has been a topic since he was drafted. What this does to Kuminga's age, I'm telling you right now, Jonathan Kuminga doesn't want to play another minute for the Golden State Warriors, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him. There's a part of me that almost says, he should just fucking go home. Like, just go on vacation. Like, you're not going to use me? Screw you guys. I understand there are tough choices. I understand there are only so many minutes to go around. But for the minute total of Jonathan Kuminga to be reduced to 0, you ain't even here. You're Pat Spencer as far as we're concerned. That's wrong. It's freaking wrong. And now here's the deal. Kai and TJD, I thought Trayce Jackson-Davis should get a chance to play against Zach Edey because he has more experience playing against Zach Edey than just about any other big on the planet. Okay? Unless you were on Purdue scrimmaging every day, the battles that Trayce Jackson-Davis had against Zach Edey, I thought that there was a little something to get out of him there. But let's be totally honest. I'm the biggest Trayce Jackson, Davis guy there is. Trayce Jackson-Davis's coach DMPs right now, I don't have a problem with them. You are not going to see angry Damon Bruce talking about how my Hoosiers being done wrong. Trayce is not rebounding like he needs to, and he's smoking too many layups for a guy without a jumper. It sucks. I hate to say it. Quinton Post is so much better at being a Golden State Warrior than Trayce is at this time because of his skill set, what he can do, his size, he rebounds. And I'll tell you what, Quinton Post is, he's got some nasty in him, man. He really does. As I think of all the things that could take the Warriors' playoff chances apart, leaning on young guys in postseason situation is a good way to start taking apart anybody's postseason chances. I am less worried about Quinton Post than any other young guy on this team, Podziemski included. I really am. Quinton Post is a fucking dog, man. I love him. I love him. This Jonathan Kuminga situation, though, unless Steph Curry has literally told Steve Kerr, I'm done playing with him, I think you're going to play him. And by the way, I think you're going to play Jonathan Kuminga in the Houston series. And if they don't, then that's it. Jonathan Kuminga is definitely going to be on another team next year because why keep the guy around when you've ruined him and he now hates everyone and he hates you and he hates Kerr and he hates his teammates. And it's rough. It's again, even if what they're doing to Kuminga is going to help them win, what they're doing to Kuminga is the equivalent of basketball evil. It really is. It's basketball evil. Hey, we're going to have Dylan Brooks coming up in this series. And it was Dylan Brooks who had Steve Kerr famously saying, like, you broke the code. Well, when it comes to managing a player's young career and minutes and confidence and all that stuff, Steve Kerr has broken the code on Jonathan Kuminga here. To go from, yeah, you're involved, maybe not as much as you want to be, but you've been involved all year, to now you're just out. 2 biggest moments of the year. Fuck you. Fuck your agent. Fuck your future earnings. Fuck your reputation in this league. None of it matters to me. Screw you. Sit over there and pout. That's wrong, man. It's rough. It really is. And Steve Kerr clearly doesn't give a shit. And that's the killer in Steve Kerr. Again, before there was the babyface assassin that was Steph Curry, you had Steve Kerr. And Steve Kerr is one of the nicest, most affable, wants to deliver harsh news gently, seeks consensus, isn't a my way or the highway bully type of guy at all. On this topic with Jonathan Kuminga, Kerr has gone full heel turn on Jonathan Kuminga in the 2 biggest games of the year, and we will see what it looks like going forward. Now, KDM says JK will have revenge when he shines on another team. Well, here's the thing. He just, he's a restricted free agent. So the Warriors are going to have a chance to match and keep him around, but there's a price point. Look at it this way. If we can really sort of go back in time, they should have traded future picks in Kuminga for Jimmy Butler and had Andrew Wiggins on this team still. And you know that I can't stand Andrew Wiggins, but that's probably what should have happened. The fact that the Warriors walked this far down the path with Kuminga and are still admitting to us they don't know what they've got, or they know what they've got and they don't like it so much that they're not even playing it, that's the guy you should have traded. I think what they're doing to him is wrong, even if it's the right thing to do for the team. But it's team first. Team matters the most. But I feel bad for Kuminga a little bit. Now, when it comes to where are we going here, this is the real litmus test. Here comes the real litmus test on Kuminga, because Kuminga averaged better than his 15 points, 4 rebounds of the season against the Houston Rockets. In 4 games this year, Kuminga averaged 21.6 rebounds against the Rockets while playing nearly 29 minutes per game. So the Rockets are so young, so athletic. They got such decent size on their wings. I don't think the Warriors can just be like, yeah, Kuminga, you ain't involved in this series either. And if he's not, then that's it. Then we can start writing the obituary of Jonathan Kuminga's Warriors career. I do think they use him against Houston, and I hope the kid plays well. Like, I am rooting for him. I really am. I'm not rooting against Jonathan Kuminga, but I'm not rooting against the Warriors. And I'm also telling you, no matter what I think about a situation, I will concede that Steve Kerr knows more about it than I do. And his conversations with Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Jimmy Butler, I'm sure, have gone into this decision. We'll see if we see Jonathan Kuminga going forward against the Houston Rockets. And look, what can I tell you about the Houston Rockets other than the Warriors are minus 200 to win the series? So having a better season, being the younger team, being well-rested, doesn't matter to the playoff odds makers. The Rockets are plus 165 to win the series, but the Warriors to win in 6 games are plus 310. The outcome of the series is Golden State plus 450 to win in 5 games, plus 310 to win in 6, plus 475 to win in 7 games. As much as the Warriors are the favorite, the Houston Rockets can abso-freaking-lutely win this series. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. And the formula that I think Houston has to have going for them is winning the first 2 games. I feel really good right now just telling you, if the Warriors split these first 2 games in Houston, they'll win the series. If Houston is planning on going to the Western Conference semifinals, they better be 2-0 getting to Chase Center next Saturday. They got to be up 2-0, I believe, on the Warriors. If the Warriors just get 1 in Houston, that's pretty much the series right there as far as I see it. I look at the side of the bracket that the Warriors are now on, and you look at that other side of the bracket, and you could say, well, getting to that play-in last night, a little bit of a blessing in disguise, maybe, because now you're in the Lakers side of the bracket. Or I guess we should call it the Wolves side of the bracket, right? Either way, all 4 teams, the Lakers, the Timberwolves, the Houston Rockets, and the Golden State Warriors, I could make an argument for all 4 of those teams to reach the Western Conference Finals. And there's no doubt. This thing is wide open. Given the gravity of the trades, given the gravity of the experience, and the legacy that's always being considered for LeBron and now Luka and Steph and Draymond and Jimmy Butler, like, the Lakers and Warriors better be meeting in the next round. This is what Adam Silver is praying for right now, that the Warriors and Lakers meet in the next round. Because that is just a monster, an absolute monster. Hopefully both teams can make it there and give us the series that I think America would want. If you offered America right now, Warriors, Lakers, or Wolves, Rockets, I'm pretty sure the one America would buy. Houston is objectively the better team in this series, but we've reached the point in the year where all of that gray in Draymond's beard, by the way, is a topic I'm very familiar with, a graying beard, all of the gray, all of the old man jokes, it's the time of year where that pays off for the Golden State Warriors. It needs to be. It has to be. The Rockets are objectively the better team in this series. Houston has the better numbers on both sides of the ball. They're younger. They should be hungrier because none of them have ever won anything. Every one of them has a playoff reputation to earn, where the Warriors are just trying to hold on to their reputation, but their reputation is legit. That's the thing. When you got a team that has this much institutional knowledge about winning big postseason series, this should be a win for the Warriors. It really should be. And I say that knowing that Jalen Green and Fred VanVleet are a handful in the backcourt, and you want a tough front court to match up against. Alperen Sengun and Amen Thompson are that for the Warriors. Watch those two dudes bang hard and low. Steven Adams is on this team. And look, for a fact you're gonna get hard feelings and static with Dillon Brooks versus the Warriors. We got Dillon Brooks in this series. He's going to be the biggest pain in the ass of his career in this series. I promise it's coming. You can feel it. So get ready to deal with Dillon Brooks. Just nudging Draymond. Draymond, don't take Dillon Brooks as bait at any point in time. Maybe get Jimmy Butler out there pushing back on Dillon Brooks so Draymond doesn't have to police that situation. If I am Ime Udoka, I am telling every single one of my players, all of you are allowed to use all of your fouls tonight. And if you're using a foul, use it hard. Use it really hard. The Rockets have to bully this series to win it. They have to be more physical than the Warriors to win this series. The two teams are really good at grinding each other down to a nub. I was looking at this earlier. Over their 4 games in the regular season, each team held the other team to just a point per possession over the entire season series. So it will be a rock fight. It will be the Warriors. The Warriors are going to have to play great defense too the whole way through. The Warriors' great defense, though, usually isn't a brand of physical defense that we are going to get out of the Houston Rockets. Watch Quinton Post pick up a technical foul for shoving somebody. I bet you Quinton Post picks up a flagrant for shoving someone because he's going to get frustrated. And I think he's good enough to be out there for some serious minutes. And Quinton Post he's got a dog in him, man. He really, really does. I like it. I like him a lot. Our wise man, Carl Buszczyk, saying, I don't think JK gets disappeared without the 3 wise men signing off. And I would agree with that, too. I still think it sucks that it happened. And I also think that you can turn around and say to those guys, look, we still need them. Whether you like playing with him or not, whether it's the perfect fit or not, we're still going to need him. And I think they're really going to need him against Houston. And Kuminga's got some pretty good numbers against Houston. I see an awful lot of familiar faces in the chat today. It's so great to see you in the chat today. I hope an awful lot of you are able to join me for a call-in show tonight, 9 o'clock West Coast time here on YouTube. The link that you need to sign up for and reserve your place to make a call into the show. All you need is, a video camera, and you need your iPhone, basically, is all you need. The link to make that happen is right in the description of this live stream. So you can sign up now, reserve your spot tonight. And we're going to do this all again tonight, which means I don't want to give it all away right now. So when it comes to the Warriors, there you go. There you go. Scared the hell out of everybody, dropping their last 2 regular season home games to put themselves in a position where you better take care of business against Memphis, or you're going to be looking at what's more embarrassing, losing to the Mavericks or losing to the Sacramento Kings on Friday. Because that could have happened. Thank God the Warriors don't need to do any of that, worry about any of that. They can rest up. They can start focusing on the Rockets. And this series officially begins on Easter Sunday, which is also 420. Yeah, man. I will be watching this series from Japan on Saturday, Jillian and I leave for Japan. Konnichiwa, sayonara. I will be in Japan for game 2, which is Wednesday, April 23rd. Warriors hopefully get one in Houston. If the Warriors get one in Houston, they're going to win the series. Of games 1 or 2, because they're obviously going to have to get one in Houston. It's games 1 or 2 where the Warriors, they take one, Houston's in trouble. I think so. And then game 3, the first game at Chase Center in this series is going to be Saturday, April 26th. And that is the day that I am flying back from Japan. So maybe I'll even be able to make it in there for game 4 of this series. But I'm excited. There's nothing better than postseason basketball in terms of just the energy, the way it sucks you in, the time in between games, always a little bit too long, but it also helps build the drama. I love the NBA playoffs, and I'm glad the Warriors are in them. And now let's see where it goes, what they do. They got a shot. They don't have a shot because they're great. They got a shot because there isn't real greatness out there. This is wide freaking open. Unless the Boston Celtics are just going to be like, nah, it ain't that wide open. We'll see what the Cavaliers do with them in the Eastern Conference. But the Western Conference, again, wide open. Nearly every team that is a playoff team in the Western Conference has an argument to reach the conference finals. God, that coffee's great today. Good coffee day. I don't know about the hair day. I'm having a good coffee day. That's what's important. Don't call him Graymond. Where did I see that? Don't call him Graymond. No Cy today. Yes, Cy had an electric issue in his home. And I was like, well, can't you just hold up your iPhone? We'll just go over the iPhone. He's like, yeah, but my wireless is down and I have terrible cell phone coverage in my house. So I'm like, that sucks. Of all days, I would have loved to have done the show with Cyrus today. And I told him, I was like, we're going to be missing next Wednesday's show. So hopefully the Warriors are still alive in 3 weeks from now. Cyrus and I are back on it on a Wednesday. But all is good in the land of Damon and Cyrus working together. And let me just say, while he's not even here, go ahead and subscribe to Golden Days. Go ahead and take care of my man over there. Subscribe and watch what he does and post games and whatnot. And we're going to be doing stuff and the collaborations, and it's all good. And synergy is a word that I hear they use when they're putting things together. Anyway, it was fun to just come and spend an 11 o'clock show talking pretty much only Warriors. We got obviously the 49ers draft coming up. I'm so sick and tired of talking about what the Niners need to do in this draft, who might have been in for a 30 visit or whatever. I'm just going to tell you this. There's a draft coming up. Pick good players. My official advice for the 49ers. In the upcoming draft, pick some good players. You need them. Meanwhile, the San Francisco Giants dropped their second of 4 games in Philadelphia on Tuesday after taking the opener on Monday from the Phillies. It is a 3:35 West Coast start, which, by the way, I do like that start time. When the Giants are on the East Coast, I like that start time. Starts a little bit later in the afternoon. I can catch a few innings on the radio while I'm picking up the kids from school. I like it. I like that start time. Again, the West Coast, the best coast from a sporting event start time standpoint only. I mean, there's a lot to like about the West Coast. There's a lot to not like about the West Coast. Sports start times, it's worth paying the tax to live out here. It really is. Got Robbie Ray, who's off to an awesome start with the Giants this season. He's 3-0 with a 2.93, and he's taking on Aaron Nola, a really good pitcher, off to a bad start right now. Aaron Nola, what is he, 0-3 with a 5.15 ERA? He's not having the start that he wants. Meanwhile, the start that the Giants are having is basically a fever dream, better than anyone could have imagined. So as the Warriors get ready, Niners, draft well. Giants, keep it up. Now, all we got is time for a little Today in History. I have some last-minute running around errands to get. I got to convert some cash into yen. Yeah, baby. I've never been to Japan. I'm so looking forward to this trip. I wish it weren't during A, Fish's 2 shows at the Bill Graham in San Francisco, and B, during the NFL draft, but I can't determine that. It's not on me. I was, Jillian's like, I don't want to hear about you missing these Fish shows in San Francisco. Well, we're in Japan. I'm like, well, I haven't seen the set list yet. So depending on what set list I'm looking at, we're going to find my level of regret. But there will be, what I have been told, the single greatest bowl of ramen waiting for me in any and all directions in like a 700-mile radius. So that'll be enough, I think, to get me through the dark days. All right. What else we got going on here? DVD. You know it. DVD. It is Bill Belichick's birthday today in history. It is the head coach of the University of North Carolina who is dating a girl young enough to be a grad student there. 73 years old. Bill Belichick. Still calling plays and laying pipe. God bless him. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 78 years old. By the way, you want to talk titanic figures in our sporting lifetimes? Bill Belichick, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, both born April 16th, 5 years apart. Today in 1881 in Dodge City, Kansas. So you know this is about to be a little Wyatt Earpy, right? Dodge City, Kansas, gunslinger Bat Masterson fought his last gun battle. He paid an $8 fine after the gun battle and retired. It was like gun battles in the Wild Wild West were like speeding tickets, I guess. Like you parked in the wrong spot, so you got a $60 ticket from the city of San Francisco. In a gunfight, that'll be an $8 fine. Move along. Bat Masterson, of course, was one of Wyatt Earp's chosen deputies when he became the sheriff, the marshal of Dodge City, and then Tombstone. Wyatt Earp, of course, buried in coma. Like everyone in coma is buried in coma. Today in 1912. Today in 1912, we chalk up one for the ladies, where American aviator Harriet Quimby became the first female pilot to ever fly across the English Channel. She was also the very first U.S. licensed female pilot. Can you imagine having enough confidence in aircrafts in 1912 to take it across the English Channel? Like if something goes wrong, there's no chance you're going to survive that. Over land, again, if the crash is really bad, there's no chance you're surviving that either. But you can parachute out and then not drown. Hopefully, I don't know. Look at it this way. Cheers to her. Harriet Quimby had huge balls for a lady. And I can tell you, total stud doing that. Unfortunately, though, she forgot where she parked the plane after she landed and had to walk around the rest of the parking lot looking for her car for about an hour. That was a joke. This is Michael Chan. Damon, I believe Japan has some new rules regarding credit cards effective 4/1. You should look into that before you go. I was not told. I did not know that. I will check that out. Thank you very much, Michael. I've been asking some friends. I just had friends who were there. And they said, yeah, bring a little walking around cash, have some yen in your pocket. But everyone takes Apple Pay, is what I was told. You can pay. Apple Pay will do the yen conversion right there, right out of your bank account. I was told that Apple Pay is a very friendly, easy use over in Japan. I've been told by several folks here that a really good thing to do is download that Susio card to use like trains. It's like Japan's Muni. I've done that. I tried to load the card. Can't load the card until you're over in Japan. There you go. Geotagged. But thank you. Thank you for the supers. Thank you for the support and the good advice. Got a lot of it. Let's see. We told you about Harriet. How about today in 1940, the very first televised baseball game happened on WGN. It was the White Sox against the Cubs. It was an exhibition game and baseball on WGN. Look, if you're asking, Damon, why did you grow up a Cubs fan in upstate New York? It's because I would come home from school and the Cubs would be on WGN, the cable news, the cable station that we had. There were very few cable stations back in the day. So I could come home from school. Even though I lived in New York, it was easier to watch the Chicago Cubs than it was the Yankees, the Mets, the Red Sox, the Phillies, because they were on WGN. I was born in Chicago, and that was it. I swear to God, Mark Gray smiled at me once, and that was it for me. I was hooked. Today in 1943, Albert Hofmann accidentally discovered the psychedelics effect of lysergic acid dethalamide. You know it as LSD. How do you accidentally discover that? I guess the same way they accidentally discovered Viagra. Like they were inventing a pill to do something other than what Viagra does, gave it to people. You know, half the people in any test case are walking around with placebos. They get sugar pills. The other half of the people are walking around with raging boners. There might be something to this. Have we invented something on accident? That's how they found Viagra. Can you imagine what were they testing out and then all of a sudden you're in an acid trip? Hell yeah. Did they do that at the Fillmore, I hope? Albert Hofmann had no idea what he was launching with that LSD, baby. Grateful Dead. Speaking of fish shows next week. Anyway, today in 1962, Walter Cronkite became the anchor for CBS. Can you imagine? Can you imagine going back to a time where you would turn on the TV and trust the person who wasn't giving you opinion, wasn't sitting at a desk asking 17 other people what they thought about anything? Here is the news. This is the news. What you think about it will be decided by you. I'm only going to give you facts. And at one point in time in my career, I have so much credibility, I will say out loud, I don't think we should be in Vietnam anymore. And the very next morning, the rest of the United States is like, I don't think we should be in Vietnam anymore. Walter Cronkite was a newsman of mythic proportions. And you want to talk about that'll never happen again? Sadly, someone was respected and as unbiased as Cronkite will never, ever happen again. Speaking of never going to happen again, no matter who we get, the Stephs, the LeBrons, the guys in the next generation, up-and-comers right now, we're never going to get another Michael Jordan. And today in 2003, at the age of 40, Michael Jordan played his last ever game in the NBA. Walked off the court for a final time. Michael Jordan today, April 16th, 2003, at the age of 40. Finally, I don't know how these days are picked or identified. National Puppy Day, National whatever. This is a day that doesn't need to be attached to any one date. What I'm about to tell you is happening needs to be moved always to its closest Sunday. Because today is National Eggs Benedict Day. Eggs Benedict is not a Monday through Friday breakfast. Eggs Benedict is almost exclusively a weekend brunch item that is your go-to brunch item because hollandaise sauce at home, it's tough unless you're Chef A and can quickly saucier that up. That hollandaise is going to break if you don't know what you're doing. I always ask the waiter or waitress, is your hollandaise freshly prepared? I'm not talking about any Knorr box mix hollandaise sauce. Are you making your hollandaise sauce in the kitchen? If they say yes, we are ordering the Eggs Benedict nearly 10 out of 10 times on a brunchy weekend. That is my go-to brunchy order because it's the one thing I don't make on my own stove. The poaching the egg, the hollandaise sauce, too complicated, too many steps, too many pots. No, thank you. I love Eggs Benedict. I got body by Eggs Benedict. And today is National Eggs Benedict Day. But Eggs Benedict Day, it shouldn't be attached to any, it needs to be a calendar custom. Every third Saturday in April should be Eggs Benedict Day. Not every April 16th, because April 16th can fall on a Wednesday, and who the fuck eats Eggs Benedict on a Wednesday? It's impossible. It's never happened. It's never happened. No one's ever had Eggs Benedict on a Wednesday. Never. God, the coffee's great today. You guys were great today. Thank you so much for the supers. And hey, let's do this again tonight. Tonight at 9 o'clock. The link to sign up to call in tonight is in the description of this live stream. All you got to do is click it open, and right there, boom, sign in, sign up. And I'll see you hopefully tonight at 9 o'clock, where we'll be talking more Warriors playoff basketball. It was awesome having you here today. Thank you so much for stopping on by. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, it's an honor to spend a little time with you, and for you to spend your precious time with me. It means an awful lot. Thank you very, very much. Please do remember that sports don't build character. They reveal it. And like that, he's gone.